I'm here with Esperanza Luna, also known as Hope Luna, and she is an oil painter and also a poet and a writer, and we cannot forget the founder of Lava. Have you always been an artist?
I think of my first recollection of being an artist when I was about 8 or 9, and I was probably in the 2nd or 3rd grade, and the teacher asked me to come up and help the other children, and I'm like wondering, well, why do they need help, you know? And I took art for granted. I thought everybody could do art. I thought it was like seeing or breathing or eating, and I went around and looked at the children's work, and I came back to the teacher, and I was stunned, and I said, what's wrong with the kids? And she said, there's nothing wrong with the kids. Not everybody has that special gift, you know, that you have. And I think it was that moment that struck me that, wow, this is a gift, and I took it for granted, you know, even at a young age, but I always knew, I think from that moment on I knew that I was an artist, and I began to acquire paints and brushes, and, you know, I just started sketching everything I could.
Do you think art had eventually become your art outlet throughout life?
Well, I think it actually saved my life. As I mentioned earlier, when we had the group setting, I had a really dysfunctional childhood as a result of 2 parents who were alcoholics. And due to the abandonment of their kids, we were shuttled around from foster home to foster home. So we went all over Southern California, and we were separated at any given point in time. And at one point, we were all reunited again. And I remember painting and writing and sketching, and you know, I think that got me through the toughest times to be able to do that and to be able to express myself. It gave meaning to my world, which is really chaotic. It made no sense at all. The world that I was living in seemed alien and cruel. Today I know that that's not the case, but that was my personal experience as a child, and I needed something to ground me. I needed something to give me a spiritual meaning for why I was there, and my art did that for me.
Thank you for sharing that. Nowadays, when you look at your art, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Oh,
I know it's evolved over time, and today...
Yes. It's been a long journey as a result of everything that happened. As a young child, it took me a long time to reconcile where my place was in the world, what was life about, what was the meaning of life, how did I fit into this big, mysterious existence, what was the meaning for me personally. And I didn't really connect all the dots in terms of being an artist. I did a lot of commissioned work initially. I copied things, I cut things out of magazines. I would never do an outside landscape and a plein air landscape. I would actually like cut out a picture and paint it. I would copy it. And nothing really came full circle. And what happened as a result, really just within the last 2 years, I began to, I think I had something akin to a spiritual awakening, you know. I've always had these really phenomenal dreams and occasionally visions. As a child, these 2 paintings are a result of 2 visions that I had as a very young child. And I decided to paint my life. I decided to paint my dreams and my visions and my experiences as a child. And for me personally, I think the purpose of art is to enlighten and to lift up people, and I don't want to bring people down. I don't have, the childhood that I had is not a message that I want to portray on canvas, you know. It wouldn't be a pretty thing, you know. But I have a poem that I've written, and I'll read that a little later, but it talks about somehow as you grow and evolve, and you grow spiritually, and Carmelita talked a little bit about that as well, you know. I have a God, which I choose to call a higher power, and I know that there's always been something there for me. Something has always been there looking out for me, has been guiding me. And so as a consequence, my art has evolved to the point where I now have connected the dots. Everything has come full circle. I know exactly what I need to do with my art. And it may take the rest of my life to achieve that. There's probably not enough time in this lifetime to do what I really want to accomplish. I think I need like several lifetimes strung together to finish out what I need to do. I've written down about 76 visions and dreams that I've had, and all of those are going to go on canvas. So So that is the personal meaning that I'm going to bring.
That is great.
As an artist.
That is great. Because you're creating your visions with your art, and some of the visions are coming from your past.
Yes,
It's a lot more personal for you.
very. Right.
Do you have a hard time separating that sometimes when you go into the art room and then when you come out?
No.
No.
Well, for a short time, it was confusing. I'm a bit of a medium and a psychic, and so sometimes I'll get, like I had a dream, like 9/11, like right before 9/11 happened. 4 days before that, I had a really awesome dream, but it was all symbolic, and I could make no sense of it. I thought it had to be something on a much more mundane level that involved another person. As it turned out, it was all symbolic, and it was all of the major symbols of 9/11, where there was a black raven, there was an eagle, an American eagle with his neck had been broken, and there was a fireman with a cut-off hose, and he was looking up at something in the sky, and there was actually something on CNN where a fireman, they'd run out of water, and he's looking up at the Twin Towers as one of the planes has crashed into it. And you can see either the tears or the sweat was coming down through the soot on his face, and I thought, I've seen that before. Where have I seen that before? And all of a sudden, a friend that I was with said, you know, your dream, that was in a dream. And so that doesn't happen all the time, but that's also going to go on canvas. And those are all the visions and dreams that I've had will be included in that. And they have personal meaning to me now. They absolutely do. I don't feel disassociated from my art anymore. I know that I have a purpose now, and that's to convey everything that's happened to me, and to give other people hope as well, especially people that have had a childhood that's chaotic and crazy, or you've had alcoholic parents, and there's so many brilliant people out there, brilliant artists. There's young children that need guidance, that need inspiration, and I don't think there's enough of it in our society today. And I think through my art, I can elevate people's consciousness and elevate their spirit, and letting them know if somebody like me can make it and can transcend those boundaries of those ties of misery and turn them into something beautiful, then you can do it too. And that's my message to the artist.
Great message. Great message. Do you get into your studio about every day?
I'm in there about 4 days a week.
Yes.
And especially right before a show, it gets very hectic. In fact, before the last show we did at the Celebrity Center, and I want to say a word about the Church of Scientology. I'm not a bona fide, I wouldn't say a diehard Scientologist, but I have gotten some real amazing support from that institution. They absolutely revere the arts, and I'm actually doing auditing with them, which has allowed me to, wow, it's allowed me to just blow through some things that I never thought possible. And as a result of that, a lot of my art has taken shape and form. It doesn't change who you are, but it does help you evolve in terms of the art that you're doing. So I'm in my studio, I would say, 4 to 5 days a week, and I normally paint from 7 in the evening to 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's when I find that it's the quietest, and it's like I don't feel any thought waves in the air, and it's absolutely quiet. I just can hear the crickets, and it's me in the studio painting. So those are kind of like really spiritual hours for me.
And then a huge question I just want to ask for you personally is, how important is the art and the connection to a community to you?
Wow. It's absolutely important. I think that, again, something that Carmelita said, that Lava is a humanitarian group. And I like to bring people into it who are like-minded, or at least will get on, hop on the train and support the cause, whatever cause that we are endorsing. I think artists have an absolute responsibility to give back to the community. We've picked up trash, litter, Santa Monica Beach on Earth Day, and I want to say that 2 of my founding members, original founding members of Lava are in the audience right now, Carmelita Pittman and Pedro Nurian. They have been absolutely wonderful friends and loyal friends, and they're phenomenally talented people as well. And I cherish their longevity in Lava and the support of Lava. We've helped the homeless. We took food out, I think Pedram and Carmelita and I and Marshall, another artist at the time. We took food out to the homeless. We've given money to Bienvenidos Children's Home, which is a shelter for abused and abandoned infants. There's just any number of causes, and whatever causes somebody else brings into the group that we deem are vital and important to the community, then we will give back in whatever way we can. And that's whether it's supporting Drug Week or a particular month for a particular prominent individual, we will support that.
I just want to thank you for the opportunity of bringing us in and introducing us to your organization.
Thank you.
And all the wonderful artists that are a part of it. So, thank you.